Fine, fine. Take it, you dirty whore, the overseer cried, throwing into his breast the keys and convenient password to the terminal. Take it and leave me. The Debs sauntered down the hall happily and into the overseer's office. He didn't notice Jonas's dead body as he passed. He was way too busy admiring himself in the mirror. He opened the terminal with the password and went into the deeper part of the vault. He went to where the vault door was, a big gray gear. He accidentally fell onto a button, and it came up and said, "Well, what?" as it came open. He then noticed that at his feet was a box of egg rolls. He opened the box, but they rolled out of the box and down the stairs into the tunnel, and through the gate and into the outside world. Well, what? I won't go out there. It's dangerous. He then noticed an egg roll on the ground. Oh, what? An egg roll! He slipped on the egg roll, having began to roll down the stairs and into the tunnel and through the gate and into the outside world. As he rolled, his mouth filled with delicious fried eggy goodness, and the light burned his eyes. He was blind for hours. He lay out and baking in the sun for several hours, blind, surviving off his own body fat. When the blindness subsided, he saw the sun. Well, what? He got up, witnessing the landscape surround... Crap, where'd I go? Oh, he got up, witnessing the landscape spreading before him, the broken monuments in the far distance. The Washington Monument fell in crumbles, the White House a gaping hole in the distance, the sky gray and land only desert and rubble, a wasteland. Debs farted. Debs strutted with his hips pushed powerfully outward as he made his way through the wastelands. He encountered a house, broke through the door, and met a blonde woman.
What do you want? Need variety? Put you up to this?
The woman cried, pulling out her pistol. More! Deb slobbered.
Bastard!
The blonde woman shot at him with her pistol. Debs consumed them through his flesh, adding to his power. Debs shot plasma through his eyeballs, turning the woman into a fine dust. He then proceeded to loot her dead body, pulling a thing of jet from her pockets. Fuck yeah, jet! Debs proclaimed. He then sat at the desk by the window and shot jet directly in his jugular vein. Oh yeah, yeah, that's the way to get it, yeah. Author's note. Jet is a drug in the game Fallout 3. 5 minutes later, Debs arrived in Megaton. Water! Water! Give me water! The homeless beggar cried. I don't care about the needy and the homeless, Debs cried, and Roundhouse kicked the man to the face. The homeless man fell over, quite dead. Debs waddled into Megaton and cried out, well, what water world?
It looks like Waterworld on the inside. That's the explanation for it.
Author's note. Apparently Megaton looks like Waterworld. Right away, a man in a cowboy hat and white coat approached him. I've got a bad feeling about you, son, Sims said. But I'll give everyone here a fair chance. Debs did. Nice hat, Calamity Jane. Debs thrust a powerful fist into Sim's stomach, who crumpled on the ground. Debs took the hat and placed it on his head, dancing down the hill sexily, dodging bullets of angry villagers. Debs stood beside the bomb, looking at his perfect, gorgeous reflection in the pond. He looked around at the angry townspeople, swaying with his breasts and hips, hands on his waist, his voice swooning. Ooh, I hope no one pushes me in the water. Everyone ignored him. He looked at the bomb in the water. He immediately wanted to devour it. However, he did resist this temptation because he realized, as large as his mouth could stretch, he could not put his entire mouth around a nuclear bomb. Debs proceeded up the path, following the scent of booze to Moriety's saloon. The moment he walked in, he heard a deep, seductive voice. You're not a member of this cesspool, are you? The voice belonged to a studly man in the corner with wide-brimmed white hat and suit. Debs knew he loved the man. He loved the man wholly. He wished for nothing but to cradle in the man's arms, ask for his hand in marriage, wear garter belts, and spend long, happy days lolling in the lawn, serving him sweet, delicious egg rolls. He loved him, and he loved him dearly more than any other, so manly and masculine, and hot.
I dare say, Mr. Berg. I'm rather intrigued on what.
Debs leaned over the table, his heaving breasts poking out from his red satin shirt, nipples like surprised eyes. He swayed his voluptuous hips, swishing them in the air, his head swiveling.
I find you
Enchanting, Mr. Burke said.
I represent certain interests.
This bomb, blow it up, and you'll be paid. You will be paid with more than caps. He wanked at him. I think I'm supposed to say winked.
It is, but we made it wait.
Throw in an extra 500 caps.
Debs groaned.
Yeah, Mr. Berg. That's right.
That sound is horrible.
You wrote it. Want to get high? Debs knew that Mr. Burke was the key to widening his already spacious mouth.
You're so enchanting.
Fair mistress, Mr. Burke whispered, rubbing his leg up against his back. I have a hideaway for you and I in the 10-penny tower. Only you and I, dancing the dance into the deep, lusty night.
You want to go there and do stuff?
Of course, milady.
Oh, yeah!
Mr. Burke and Debs squandered up the stairs and into the empty room. Mr. Burke bounced off of Deb's trampoline-like stomach, onto the bed, back and back again. He laughed gaily all the while.
It's like flying.
He said in a smooth, jazzy voice. Debs sexily pulled away his clothes, the scent of spicy cologne filling the air. His nipples leaped up like jack-in-the-boxes, dazzling Mr. Burke. Anyway, Mr. Burke's pants flew off him as if with a life of their own. They clung to Deb's right nipple, then drizzled off sexily. His cowboy hat drifted to cover Mr. Burke's throbbing member. Debs hissed like a snake. Mr. Burke growled, rearing his claws. Mr. Burke vanished into the closet for a moment, and when he returned, he was dressed beautifully to Deb's eyes, in a full furry suit, with two scarlet Brahmin heads bouncing off with dead googly eyes, a furry white tail, pink udders, and clacking hooves, open for embrace. Hooves, that's what it says. Debs hissed. Wait, shoot. Debs whooped loudly, swooping into the closet and returned, wearing a mole rat suit with googly eyes and two strong teeth. He pinned Mr. Burke the Brahmin against the bed and plunged into him. Mr. Burke mooing in a high-pitched pleasure. Moo! Debs echoed in his orgasm, a high whale song. Debs slipped Mr. Burke over and opened his mouth around Mr. Burke's voluptuous, milky udder. It says utter, but it's udder. And sucked his juices out. He then opened his mouth to consume his legs, his stomach, his arms and head, and consumed Mr. Burke whole, costume and all. Debs belched loudly and sauntered downstairs after feeding for the night. Debs wandered outside and into the supply shop, hoping to get himself a new bong.
Oh, hi!
Said Moira cheerfully, and Debs wandered in.